Hello and welcome once again to Boomer 11 Live. And today we're going to be talking about a David versus Goliath story. It was David Warner's Delhi Capitals who beat the table toppers Gujarat Titans. It was indeed a David versus Titan story, at least for sure. It started off with an incredible spell with Mohammad Shami. It took the Delhi Capitals batting lineup apart, just like they have been falling apart for quite a while. But then came the innings from Aman Hakim Khan and Ripple Patel, two of the uncapped Indian players leading this team. Something we've been hoping would happen. Really worked out for them. That partnership there got them to 130. And then Gujarat Titans, when they got into bat, a very similar situation before Hardik Pandya. Rahul Tewatia almost doing another Rahul Tewatia, but then it was not to be because Ishant Sharma bowled a gem of a death overs and finally did what I've been calling to be done against Rahul Tewatia for so long. He is a leg side merchant, and today kind of proved that all his options were on the leg side. But I with me, Abel and Sandivani. I'll begin with you, Abel, right away. You're wearing the red of Delhi Capitals as well. What do you think went right for them? Because it was an incredibly motivating match. Because after this match, they'll all be going back to their hotel rooms, happy and satisfied because this was a victory of a team going down losing that many wickets so early and yet ending up on the winner's side. You know how it is when you lose
Yeah,
3 wickets in the power play, you end up losing 85% of the matches. Now imagine you've lost
yeah.
half your side in just 5 overs. Incredible comeback,
I
isn't
agree
it?
with you. For me at least, this has to be one of the best wins of this year's IPL. I don't know what others say about it. Others will have different opinions, but then for me, this has to be the greatest recovery because they were 23 for 5 at the end of 5 overs. And from that, to go on to win the match is a different thing. To go on to post a score and then to go on to win a match is an incredible and Herculean task. And against table toppers, Gujarat Titans, who are known to finishing games time and time again. So just add all these things cumulatively, you will know why this win is one of the most special
Yeah.
wins. Remember, this also shows anybody can get defeated on the given day. Number one team can lose to number 10. And there's this IPL is the most open IPL I've seen in a long, long time. Anybody can lose at their home backyard. So that is one factor which has been thrown out of the window as well. Teams have been going away and doing well. And that has to do a lot with the last 3 seasons of IPL as well, where teams have not played at home, right? Teams have played away from home in neutral venues. So that have made them build teams equipped for a lot of other venues. Means they have
Yeah.
built teams based on Dubai, based on Mumbai. So that's really helped them, especially in this season's IPL, to go out there and do a job because a lot of these teams are now equipped playing away from home most of the games. So that's one ideal reason. But today, I have to give credit to the likes in which the Delhi Capitals are involved. We will talk about Gujarat Titans, but first and foremost, Delhi Capitals, you have my respect, and Aman Hakim Khan, and this is real character, man. I have to really admit that it is not easy, right? We talk about youngsters coming in and doing a job. We talk about youngsters needing to take more responsibility, but then this has to be one of the most nail biting or one of the most jaw gripping games in a long, long time. That's one of the reasons why I did not even get time to prepare for the live. I was just watching it. I was also very nervous watching it as not as I'm not a Delhi fan, but I know people in Delhi Capitals, especially I will text Sriram Samajitullah or Biju George maybe tonight and just say that well done because that was true character. Absolutely well done.
Yeah, I think this was probably one of the greatest comebacks as well in IPL history. I won't go out to say at least top 10, you would have to say, in terms of just the way they made that comeback against a team that made a comeback against. Sandeep, let's talk. I'll get to you today. Today was Mohammad Shami's show, wasn't it? Hardik Pandya as well in the press match, in the post match said that it was Mohammad Shami that did the job. You have to give credit to this guy. We know he's not a death overs bowler, but when it comes to the power play, he's doing a job which is phenomenal. That seam position is breaking down teams for Gujarat Titans for Gujarat Titans time and time again. He did it last year and he's doing it now again. Very good signs for India, especially leading up to the WTC as well. We spoke about how in the morning we were speaking about some of the players being injured, it's going to hurt. But Mohammad Shami, the way he's bowling, it just seemed like he was bowling with a red ball or maybe a pink ball on an English wicket today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a lovely spell, and I think the Indian fans will be very happy with how Shami has performed in the power play. This is not the first time that Shami is doing a great job in the IPL in the power plays, but Shami tends to fly under the radar more often than not. You won't even know because Shami has been picking up 19-20 wickets every IPL season since the I think since 2018 or 2017. He has picked up 20, 19, 20, this sort of wickets. So he's a very consistent power play performer. It's just that if you give him flat decks, he might go on for some runs towards the later end of the innings. But I mean, there is no doubt he is one of the best bowlers in the power play in the competition, and today he just proved it. And I was a bit surprised that he was not given 4 overs on the trot because I think with an underconfident, I mean, Aman Khan played out of his skin to score that 50 runs, and Akshar Patel stabilized the ship as well. But I mean, Aman Khan before this game would have been underconfident, and if you ask him to come at 5 for 23, more often than not, he wouldn't have backed himself to. I mean, he obviously backed himself to go on and perform, and hence he got that 51. But I would have liked if Shami would have bowled the 4 overs on the trot because he was bowling beautifully. The batsman had no reply for him, and 3 of those 4 wickets were caught behind. So I mean, the batsman was just nicking the ball, nicking the ball to Saha. So they had no clue as to what Shami was doing, and I felt 1 over from Shami right after the power play would have probably done the job for Gujarat Titans. But once again, I
Yeah.
think when you talk about this game, when you talk about Mohammad Shami putting on a show with the ball, I think Delhi Capitals started off. I think this was not a 130 pitch. Hardik Pandya as well mentioned. I think there was nothing, big demons in the pitch, and I think 150, 160 could have been an ideal score. So chasing 130 and losing like this, I think Gujarat Titans will definitely kick themselves. And one might I totally agree with Teju over there. One might even question Hardik Pandya's way of playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll just take you guys through a few things, right? When he's ever since he started playing for Gujarat Titans, he in the power play his strike rate is 100. In the from 7 to 11, his strike rate is at 125. From 12 to 16, his strike rate is 129. Now that is worrying, isn't it, Abel? Because you have to say that. I mean, he is trying to be the anchor role. I can understand
Yeah.
that, and at least last year it made a lot of sense to me because we did speak about how last year, this team needed a player who would lengthen their batting order. But now this time around, again, I'm a bit surprised that he's going with that strike rate. So I think that's where what Teju says makes a lot more sense to me as well. Because
Yeah.
I mean, last year, if you're going at that strike rate, I can totally understand the reason for that because you're trying to lengthen your batting order. But now there's no need for that. This Gujarat Titans got a very good batting order, and I'll just
Yeah.
go a little bit further as well against leg spin bowling and left arm orthodox. When the ball goes away from Hardik Pandya, he seems to struggle again. Again, he's got an average of one. I mean, strike rate of 120 again, 123 against right arm leg break, left arm orthodox again 123.5. So if the ball is and also against Chinaman, his strike rate is 84. Only bowler that is still doing a decent job against is right arm off break. But then we know Hardik Pandya has always been a good player of right arm off break. So now he's struggling against spin as well. So now considering these factors, do you reckon he is fit for that middle order anymore? Like last year it made sense. Now does it make sense anymore?
But you can't say he's not fit for the middle order at all because he is going to be batting in middle order
I
at
mean,
the
in
end
the
of the
sense,
day.
middle overs, not middle
So
order.
I
Mid
mean,
overs.
no, I don't think this team really needs Hardik Pandya to be batting anywhere at number 5, number 6 as well because the team is set, bro. I mean, you can't say this team has been winning after one match. You can't really say Hardik Pandya has done a bad job. But what I'd like to see from Hardik Pandya is not take that extra amount of responsibility and play as an anchor, which is slightly going away from his natural game. And Teju is right in pointing that out. Maybe because of the additional responsibility, and bro really thinks he's MS Dhoni as well because trying to take the game deep and trying to win it from there on. It is tough. It is really tough that you can't always pull it off. And today, what ideally should have happened for Gujarat is they should have been ahead in the chase. In low scoring games, I've often repeated this. You have to be ahead of the chase. You have to have a couple of big overs in the middle to take the momentum away from the team who's defending it. And that's something which Gujarat really lack. They let the game deep. You don't let a team defending low score into the game. You kill the game off, and if you let them back into the game, then it's literally taking a big risk. If not for the Tiwatia 3 6s, this could have been a 20-run win for Delhi Capitals. Imagine
Yeah.
20-run win in a 130 chase. That's a load of runs, right? Yesterday the issue was the pitch. Today it was not the pitch. So the pitch was perfectly all right. It was a fantastic batting deck to bat because some of the shots which Aman Khan played, or for that, like even Hardik Pandya played, those were shots you play on very good batting decks. But I would just blame Hardik Pandya and Abhinav Manohar. They should have taken the game off. They should have killed the game off by having a couple of good overs at least. They let Delhi Capitals claw back into the game, and that's what they had to regret it for it. Because, and I'm also happy for the fact that Hardik Pandya did accept the mistake that
Yeah.
he did go wrong in terms of his calculation. He did go wrong completely in terms of his game sense as well, which is very good. And that's something which I really appreciate about Hardik Pandya, the leader. He's very honest about the way in which he deals with his teammates, the way in which he deals with the press and everybody else as well. So that's one factor which you need to understand. But at the same time, I'll also say Delhi Capitals will need all the credit today because the bowling changes, the way in which Ishant Sharma closed it out. Let's talk about that, man. I mean,
We
Ishant Sharma,
should.
the last over, that
We
was
should.
that was just one of the best last overs by a veteran bowler. I mean, 12 runs against Rahul Tiwari and Hardik Pandya, you would give the opposition team 99% chance to win, which is Hardik Pandya and Rahul Tiwari finish it off. But then he came in, ball those wide Yorkers, put Tiwari into trouble. And I'd really blame Nokia as well, because Nokia shouldn't have been bowling on the leg side because that's something he'll back to clear any day. He packed the leg side field for what I do not know because he'll still back to clear it. You are not going to
So
get a catch.
I need
He
to
should
ask
have
you
packed
this.
the offside field and made
Yeah.
Rahul Tiwari go across and maybe play a good shot out of it.
So I mean, I had a slight issue with the way that field was set up, and I'll tell you why. I've always maintained Rahul Tevatia is a leg side merchant.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
one thing that he really does well, especially what I've seen this season him doing, is he shuffles across very well and plays that swatted shot. I mean, over mid on cow. I
Yeah.
mean, the cow point area. But now when your batter does that, I believe what you should do is give the baller two options. Give him the option to ball that Yorker on the leg stump and the option to ball the Yorker on the off stump. So when you do that, what you essentially telling the baller is, or the batter is, you don't know whether it's going to be a wide Yorker or a Yorker on your toes. So he has to
Yeah.
be guarded for both. So when you have those two options, now Rahul Tevatia, because it just seemed like during the Nokia over, it just seemed like Rahul Tevatia knew. He absolutely knew that the ball is going to be a wide Yorker. So the moment he shuffled even in the first ball, right, Abel, the one where it was a full toss. But then again, it was a full toss on the leg stump, but he was able to get inside of the line and smack it out over the square leg region. Same way now, when the next ball he tried to ball was a full toss again, outside off stump would have been a good ball if Rahul Tevatia didn't already know, if you hadn't already telegraphed what was coming. So that's
Yeah.
where I believe no, the field setting. I was a little upset about that because I still believe as a bowler you should be given options, or at least a batter should believe that there is more than one delivery that he's going to try against me. Something when I'll come to you now. We are speaking about some comparisons with MSD, right? But there's one thing that I've noticed with how MSD operates. What he always did is if there were five bowlers bowling, he knew two bowlers to pick apart. Today, I felt that both Abhinav Manohar and Hardik Pandya waited for bowlers to make a mistake, which is not a bad thing to do. Bowlers do tend to make mistakes, and Dhoni's done that as well. But what Dhoni does on a very good basis, he picks two bowlers to go after, and he will ensure that he goes after them full-blooded. Today, I felt Khalil Ahmed when he returned to ball that over in the death overs, and maybe, I mean, obviously they went after Andrick Nokia, and maybe even Akshar Patel's over. I felt those were the two overs you could go for, especially Akshar Patel because he hadn't gotten a wicket yet. And so maybe that was the one over I felt they will go after him. So I felt those two overs, because them being 16th and the 17th over, I believe that was going to be the way, the point where Gujarat Titans could have turned the game around. What do you reckon?
See, honestly, first of all, I was very, very happy with the result today because Gujarat Titans have been getting away from chasing. This was only their second loss while chasing in 2 years of, I mean, almost 2 years of the IPL campaign. That is a terrific record to have, winning 12 out of 13 chases before this. So I
Yeah.
think they were getting away. They were not playing the best kind of cricket, even in some of the games that they won chasing. But they were getting away with it because the lower middle order, the likes of Rahul Tevatia was coming and smacking the ball, or Rashid Khan was coming and finishing the job for them from improbable positions. So I think today this defeat was so necessary for Gujarat Titans and the likes of Hardik Pandya, because I think complacency and a bit of overconfidence would have definitely got into this Gujarat Titans team after so many wins chasing, because they knew that no matter what the case is, even if you need 60, there was the belief in the team because it had happened in the past. So I think, and with I totally agree with you on that. On Dhoni, when he finishes the innings or when he looks to sort of take the game deep, he always has that one or two bowlers on mind that he wants to target. This has not been the case with Hardik Pandya, not just for this game. And
Yeah.
Hardik Pandya coming as an anchor, as I say, in the long run, this is not going to Gujarat Titans is not going to get hampered, or their performance will not get hampered with Hardik Pandya coming in at number 3. But it is Team India that is going to get hampered when he finally comes back for the Indian team, because we have enough anchors in our team. We need proper finishers in that team. So Hardik Pandya coming back to the Indian team, he has done it for Team India as well. Taken the game deep and could not finish it. And this is a condition that has been growing over the years. I mean, if you consider Hardik Pandya 2 years back, I think even the stats will say that as well. He was a much clinical finisher for India. He used
Yeah.
to sort of take that whenever he wanted to accelerate or change that gear, he could do it he could transform between the gears in a very easier manner. But now you see he struggles when suddenly he is playing at a strike rate of 110 and you need 12 runs per over. It is difficult for a batsman to get going from the get go. And he is not the only batter. I mean, a lot of other batters face the same problem as well. Once
Yeah.
you are not timing it, once you are not getting a good feel of the ball, you will struggle to hit sixes on demand. And this is something that he has to change. I mean, he eventually accepted that it was his job to finish the chase for the team and get the win. But I mean, this loss was very important for Gujarat Titans as well. And also talk about Ishant Sharma. I mean, what calmness, and I think he has given Nortje a masterclass on how to bowl to Rahul Tewatia. I mean, everybody knows when Rahul Tewatia is playing the full toss or the Yorker, and Nortje, the 3 6s that he got hit for, 2 were full tosses, one was a half volley. So I mean, the balls were nothing deliveries. And also, I mean, Ishant Sharma had a specific plan. Even Ishant Sharma bowled 2 low full tosses in that over, but it was way outside the off stump and it was outside Rahul Tewatia's hitting arc. And that is very important to do in terms of, because the boundaries are not as small in Narendra Modi Stadium as well. So you ask the batter to take him on and ask him to hit the big sixes. And I think it was a masterclass for Nokia, and I really deserved this win. And Gujarat Titans deserved to lose this. I mean, they had to lose a low scoring encounter where the opposition had scored below par.
Absolutely. I think a few comments are coming about our morning stream, which is pretty actually. We had to do it. We definitely had to do it. Smriti Jomon says, I mean, Abel with a white heart. Teja also says, Ishant Sharma knuckle ball. I believe that was such a brave ball to ball at that point in time. I think he balled two consecutive slower deliveries. That second one being a length ball was such a brave call. But I mean, that's my point. He's a leg side merchant. If you make him drag the ball from outside off stump, he will make that mistake. Rangarajappa says, Abel, loved your passion on the morning stream today. That's how we play bold. I love that overall, I mean, I love the overall Twitter banter that went around.
I just want to say,
on internet.
I'll just send that there.
No, I think I was not there in the morning stream, but I know, I mean, from what Abel would have said regarding yesterday's controversy.
I'll take the better side of what Rocky says. Who is Lil Naveen? Naveen who? Naveen what? Naveenul Karai. Rocky, our star analyst. I mean, our star analyst from the comment section.
Bro, it's
Sudhir
just,
also
I think
says,
we should, I think the comments are just going wild for last night.
I
It's just
swear.
bloody LSG.
We genuinely
playing on
miss
farmlands. No
Naveen
wonder they
Live this
bunch of
time.
peasants. No way they are coming to mess with Virat. Oh, this is nice. They call it
Tilpot
Lakka Super
franchise is my
Peasants. That is
favorite.
nice. Oh yeah, this is.
Oh, I loved it.
Wow.
Shruti Shyam really on point. Tejas says the points table this season is so tight going down the wire. I mean, it just seems very tight at this point in time. It almost seems as tight as I mean, it's very tight, and
very tight.
it seems like every time the points table match is being played, whosoever is on top on the points table is destined to lose. That's just how it seems like at this point in time. Worried about That's probably the reason I'm a little confident about tomorrow's CSK versus LSG. Who knows? LSG might be preparing a better Chinnaswamy for us tomorrow. Yeah, that's what Teju says is perfectly right. Again, Devan Madan asks who is Naveen. And Michael Andrews says, "Who are we? Nammauru Bengaluru." Yep, that was the chants that were being heard in Lucknow yesterday. But yeah, it was incredible match. Two very good matches today. In
I mean,
2 days
just
time.
shows, right? Even 130
Yeah,
scores are so interesting. I love it, man. I mean, I love these small, low scoring encounters because
I do
it gives
too.
ballers a chance. I won't agree with that pitch which we had yesterday because that was ridiculous. I mean, as Shruti said, that's bloody farmlands and bunch of peasants. I mean, what was that? It was bloody agricultural, man. That's the most ridiculous pitch I can play on. I can play it down under my ground. Generally, used to remember we used to play cricket on that pitch down. That was much better
Oh
than this.
yeah, absolutely.
That was much better than
Yeah.
this.
So
This is ridiculous. I mean, if you're gonna put that for IPL, I'm just so sorry. As bad as their franchise is, that's as bad as their pitches also. So I just put it right there. But I mean, I'm not being a toxic fan. I'm an analyst, guys. Just getting back. But yeah, to be honest, today's match was
it's
just
all
clinical
right.
performance
Once
and
in
good
a while,
tactics.
able on our channel, we allow some of our fanness of our. I mean, our love for our teams to come out. We
Bro, you
allow
know
Sandeep
what? You know what,
to
Dylan?
be
You know what?
allowed as
I
well.
really waited for the match for the last 18 days. I really waited for the match. I swear to
Oh
God.
yeah.
I wanted that match because that guy cannot come to Chinnaswamy and shush us. I don't care. He scored 97. He still cries about it. That guy. I don't care about it, but that guy can't come to Chinnaswamy and shush us. We give it back, bro. We give it back. And tomorrow I want Chennai Super Kings to win it and give it back again because that guy needs something back. He's been talking for way too long. I've kept quiet all my life, but that guy cannot do it. I mean, I wanted to get back out of him.
Yeah, I mean, well, as you all know, it's
And not just him. That Avesh Khan as well throwing the helmet. Bishnoi, we gave it back with interest yesterday. If you give it, if you when you're giving it, ready to take it back, or else don't give it, as Virat Kohli rightly said.
well, I'll give Abel another 5 seconds if you have
I'm done. I'm
any
done.
more
I'm done.
guys. All
I'm
right,
done. I'm done.
guys, I have to ask this question. What do you guys think of Abel's haircut from Bill, the Stranger Things?
Stop it. Stop it. This is not the one. This is not the one. This is not the one. This is not.
It is exactly Will's haircut from
No.
Stranger
No. No.
Things.
No. No. No.
We know you
Not
like
the
Will
one.
now. All right. But yeah, so fun and games aside, tomorrow Gautam will be seeing yellow flags in Ikana. Yeah, I think I don't know if he will shush MS Dhoni because whatever he talks about MS Dhoni only talks about him after MS Dhoni leaves the ground. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Virat just paid the fine posting an ad on today on Instagram. I think Virat Kohli has earned a lot more in terms of what do you say in terms of endorsements and the amount of money he had to pay yesterday. He doesn't mind. He's already paid, I think, 50%, 25% during the CSK game. I think another 50% towards. I think the RR game, if I'm not wrong, one of the games where he was fined again, and now yesterday he's played 100 again. He's earning a lot. He has no issues. He has no issues donating this money. Some entertainment for us is what we need. Lucknow preparing
Absolutely.
bouncy track for tomorrow for CSK is what Teju says.
I think
I don't know.
that's gonna that on that farmland, if they have to prepare bouncer track, they'll have to sow harvest right now. It'll happen by the next monsoon.
I think you'll have to change Lucknow from. It'll have to become Melbourne Super Giants for that to happen. And if that happens, I think CSK might still do a good job because I think Rutraj, Devin Conway, all these batters, Moin Ali would certainly and they would certainly love to play on a bouncy track. So but then yeah, I genuinely still think tomorrow you might see the more least spinning track because if it's anything to go by yesterday, I think what they tried to do was bring a spinning track to really shut Virat Kohli down. They couldn't, and they ended up shutting themselves down, as what Harsha Bhogle said, right? The spiders spun the web and then got trapped in it themselves. Yeah, I mean that's how we talk. AB boy. Yeah, I think he's talking about you, Abel. Abel needs more of this passion. Yes, Abel. Where has been your passion?
See,
Where
bro,
has been your RCB passion?
they
15
just
years I
mess
know it's been
around.
tough.
That's how we get. We don't do it, right? I usually don't do it, but then that guy was on my
He
skin for a long
riles us
time,
up.
man.
He riles us up. We have to say that LSG is our favorite franchise. We love to see them drop points. All three of us. I have to say that.
No, I love
But yeah.
LSG. I love LSG. I'll have an unpopular opinion on this. I love Gotham
Yeah, I
Gambhir
mean,
and
I
I
have to
love
say, I have
LSG.
to say a few things though. I do love a lot of things about that franchise. They have built up a very good fan base in just 2 years.
Are you
To give
sure,
credit
bro?
to that, the branding is
Are
also
you
on
sure,
point.
bro?
Come on, you can't beat RCB and CSK in terms of fans. You guys found out in Chinnaswamy, right? But yeah, let's talk about Avesh.
He was
Nowhere to be seen.
peasants.
I'll be honest. I think they hit Avesh Khan because Gautam Gambhir knew that Avesh Khan would be on the receiving end of a Virat Kohli's masterclass. They hid Avesh Khan, brought in an off spinner on purpose. Oh my God, we're turning into an LSG dubbing challenge, dubbing
No,
channel right
I
now.
think
So
tomorrow,
to
not
say,
tomorrow. I think I'm very excited to see the Afghanistan versus next
But
Afghanistan versus
I
India
did not
game.
really see. We had a lot of Virat Kohli fans. I think the whole world, all of the country has been supporting Virat Kohli because of two reasons. Because it was done by not an Indian, right? At the end of the day, Naveen Ulak is not an Indian. So that kind of emotion really got up a lot of Indians. But
yeah.
as Sandeep is going to say, Afghanistan was in India in the World Cup. Bro, I'm just scared for Naveen Ulak, bro. I mean, he is
No,
going to
I'm not
go. I
scared
mean,
for him because I know. I think if Rashid Khan is the captain of Afghanistan, I think he won't even give the ball to Navin while Kohli is batting. Because I think that will be the wisest thing to do. Just don't give him the ball when he's batting.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway,
Naveen
agree.
goes out of the ground.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Naveen just goes
everybody,
out of the
all.
cricket. That's it.
I mean, everybody knows this about Kohli, right? He does not wait for. He will give it back to you, no matter who you are, what you are doing. He is
Absolutely.
definitely going to give it back to you some way or the other. So it's going to be interesting to see how Navin
I
gets
mean, just a day
his
ago, I
due
was
back.
watching an interview that Kohli had given to, I think it was Puma or one of the sporting brand, one of the endorsement companies that he is involved with. And he said in that interview that he will, however you act on the field, he is not someone who's going to sit and take it. He is going to give it back in some or the other fashion. And we remember Kesrick Williams and how he smashed Kesrick Williams out of, existence when it comes to international
And
cricket.
you
But
know the
all of
point
that
is
is,
it's all fun and good till it is in the
yeah, of
stadium,
course.
right? I was okay. I was totally okay with Navin ul Haq having a go at Kohli, Kohli having a go at Navin ul Haq. I think where Navin ul Haq went wrong was posting
Absolutely.
a story on Instagram. I think that was something he did not need to do. And
No,
I
he
think
where it went wrong was during the handshakes when you forget things, behave as a gentleman. You don't have to exchange words because Virat Kohli
uh,
leaves it on the field. I mean, you don't do it once.
does
That
he?
that as I say, you do that. You do the mandatory handshake for that very reason. You forget it, and that's something which you usually see from Virat Kohli. He gives it off, and if Naveen Lok did not have to exchange a word there. I can also understand from Naveen's perspective because it's the first time he came under assault of someone. And sorry, it's not it's the first time he came against assault of Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli really gives it back because he had fought with Amir, he had fought with Pereira, he had fought with Afridi, he had fought with Nathan Ellis. He had gone every league and he had fought with a player. And it's not a new thing for Navin Ulak. He's historically fought with a lot of players. And I mean, here what
Yeah.
happened is Lucknow Super Giants had to disable their comment section, and Navin Ulak really had to disable his comment section for a reason because he messed with the wrong guy, man. If Tisera Pereira or Mohammad Amir, Nathan Ellis is not going to have a barrage. But here, this is what it is.
I mean, for me, I still believe, someone like Naveen, I agree with what Sandipani said. Naveen Ullah is a player who gets, who feels that his better version is someone, just like Kohli is a combative person on the field. Fair enough. I mean, we enjoy such characters. But as he mentions, what he said is, I agree. I feel, and what you said is well able. I feel after the game is over, you have to let it go. What happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. It will always stay on the pitch. Maybe the next time you played Kohli, you could have got him out and dished him out. But I think even Kohli is someone who enjoys that kind of rivalry as well. He's no issues with it. I mean, he's given it back to a lot of. I mean, you look at the list. He's given it to Anderson. He's given it to Mitchell Johnson. But I still believe after the game is done, you have to understand that it was during the game. It was during the heat of the game because you saw Kohli go and shake hands with the LSG owners as well. So it's not like he holds a grudge after the match. But that's pretty much it, I think, from us for
I
today's
love the
game.
fact that KL Rahul was trying to be the peacemaker between Kohli and Gambhir. Just trying to get the two people away. And it's sad to
But
be on
I
KL
like the
Rahul's
fact
shoes.
something which Ravi Shastri told today. I think we have drifted a lot from today's game, and we're not giving enough credit to Delhi. Still, what I believe, we'll come back to that game in a minute. But what Ravi Shastri told is very right. After what happened, what conspired yesterday, he said that Gambhir and Virat Kohli has to talk it out right now. Just make them both sit down, talk it out, just end it because now every match they're gonna come up against each other. It's just gonna brew and brew, and it's just gonna get worse. So talk it out, settle it for once and for all. You've seen it now all since last 10 years. It's 10 years it's been going on. I think they've had a good time post that. They've come out good. Virat Kohli and Gambhir had shared some really good moments after that as well. But now I think this is just worse. So just talk it out, settle it for once and for all. I'm not talking about Navin Lok, but Gambhir and Virat Kohli at least because man, they had good friendships, right? Two Delhi boys. They've seen some of the best moments. Gautam Gambhir sharing his man of the match with Virat Kohli. I have immense respect for Gautam
Yeah.
Gambhir, the player, but then there's been a lot of personal agenda at this point of stage. We've seen that in broadcasting as well, how he's personally targeted Virat Kohli. So I think it should stop right now. It should stop once and for all, and let's settle it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think,
Ab-
but I think who
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
hype for the next RCB versus LSG game is going to be huge.
But Star
And
Sports wouldn't like it that they settle the
yeah,
fight.
if they
But
settle the fight, I think Star
for the
Sports
sake
will
of the
not
game,
like
they
it.
should. Next
And
over
I
two
think tomorrow
Delhi
as
ka
well.
Londa
Tomorrow,
coming
yeah,
up coming up
Yeah, I think
against
Sarkut
each
might not
other
be.
in the Akhada.
I think tomorrow's game as well, Star Sports will
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
lot of
However,
viewers,
I still
especially
think Star Sports.
Dhoni versus Gambhir is. Yeah, I mean Dhoni
Yeah, but
versus
the Star
Gambhir is
Sports
another
loves
love story
Kohli a lot.
altogether.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, but let's talk about the game again.
do
Right?
that.
Let's go back to the game. Let's talk about Delhi's bowling effort because we did not speak about it, and it would be criminal to end this live without speaking about the bowling effort because that's what really
And
won
guys,
them the game.
just a reminder, just let's stop talking about LSD because all the comment section has been just about yesterday's game. So we'll stop taking questions anymore on the LSD game, peasants, everything else. We just want to stop taking it. Let's come back to Delhi. Let's just give them some bit of appreciation. Ask questions only relating to today's game.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's talk about the bowling, right? And let's start with the way someone like Khalil Ahmed and Ishant Sharma bowled. Very good bowling with a new ball, and Ishant Sharma has made a comeback of a massive proportion. We spoke about Ajinkya Rahane, we've spoken about him time and time again, but Ishant Sharma has flown under the radar. But it's understandable also. He's not really lit IPL on fire, but he's done what was needed. And you guys remember I had made this call earlier as well to bring him in as an impact sub. So I'll take some bit of credit on my end. But just talking about what he's done, he's only played 3 matches for them. He's taken 4 wickets with an average of 17 runs. I think he's got the best bowling average as well in terms of. Yeah, I think after Mitchell Marsh, he's got the second best bowling average as well. Which has done a very good job when it comes to Delhi Capitals that I'm talking about. It's done a great job. Abel, what do you think is the difference now from what you've seen Ishant Sharma do in the past in IPL and now? We obviously are seeing we are obviously seeing that the experience is coming. His
Yeah.
confidence with the red ball has really helped. But there's more to it than just that, isn't it?
I'd actually have Ishant Sharma in the WTC squad now. Instead of
Yeah.
Nath Cut if he's getting ruled out because Ishant Sharma in England is a vital bowler and he's not a bad shout for the WTC final because his pace is high, he's bowling in a good rhythm. And to add to that, today's pitch was just tailor made for someone like an Ishant Sharma because there was enough movement. And to be talking about the movement, we did talk about Mohammad Shami. I and Jen was having a discussion off the screen as well. In the Ahmedabad pitch, that is the
Yeah.
Motera ground, that is the Narendra Modi Stadium rather. That pitch is on same surface with the Sabarmati River, which flows right beside it. So when there is an upstream or when there's a high tide in the evening, and as the weather cools down, the same surface tends to get moist because it's on the same surface as the Sabarmati River, which just flows 100 meters, less than 100 meters from the ground, or maybe 50 meters from the ground. So it's very near to the ground and it's on the river bed. The ground is on the river bed. So what happens is that it tends to get moist towards the later in the evening, especially in the second innings. But today you saw in the first innings as well, if there could have been a high tide, because of which the ballers who ball under lights, when under the high tide, gets a lot of movements because of that. You have also seen some of the sea-bedded grounds as well in Wankhede, especially when there's a high tide, the ball tends to do a lot. Especially in Brabant, I've seen that more than Wankhede. So these are factors which you need to consider, and that's one of the reasons why Mohammad Shami balled beautifully. And even when Khalil Ahmed came to ball, he was getting the ball to jag around a lot, and Ishant Sharma was just brilliant once again. Ishant Sharma was skillful today more than you can say him using his swing bowling acumen or seam bowling acumen. He was more skillful today, which I really liked about him. And that Yorkers, man, that really showed that was right out of a bag of experience. I mean, a lot of journalists across India were going very heavy on Ishant Sharma as to why he's taking a spot in the Delhi team and why he's not giving a chance to a youngster instead. But just shows, right? When you play a lot of domestic games, that experience counts when you're coming into a situation like this. And now with Unadkat being injured, I don't see anybody having that bit of experience to be bowling in England. And that's where I will also have Ridhiman Saha if KL Rahul is injured and Unadkat walk in. I mean, it's back to the Virat Kohli's old war horses coming back together for the WTC final, the team of 15 to 21. I'm pretty glad about it. I never thought I'd be talking about this, but then not a bad shout at all, considering the injury circumstances which we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Ishant Sharma has been one of our better bowlers in England overall. I mean, over the years. Remember the
Yeah,
Lord's victory where he really
yeah.
orchestrated that victory for us when we were not even a proper, like, I wouldn't call us a bad test nation, but not the kind of team that was built for conditions in England. It was Ishant Sharma and Bhuvneshwar Kumar who kept us. I was under Dhoni's captaincy, I remember, where Ishant Sharma really, I mean, won us that game in the second innings in Lords. So he's someone who can ball in those conditions, and he's also someone who can against, especially against some of the left-handers. Some of the key players in that English, I mean, in that Australian team is going to be some of someone like Travis Head, for instance. He's going to come very handy against the left-handers, considering we might there's still questions on whether Bumrah makes it to the WTC final as well. So having said that, it
Bumrah
was
is
very
out. Bumrah
interesting.
is out, bro.
He's out rather, yeah. So I think that's where I like this question because he's technically asked about today's game. That's what I like about this question. Shafiqullah,
I
very
love our comments,
well
man. I
done.
love these guys. These guys have got the cheekiest humor sense which you can never see.
Yeah,
They just pull it out of nowhere
absolutely.
and make us feel like, oh my god, I mean, I love it, man. I This is such a
Yeah.
good guys to talk with. I mean, this is entertainment
I'll
for
be
us.
very honest. I've loved the comments today. We had some gems. I think LSG might have to disable our comment section as well now. We are coming to that point in time.
LSD might
But
have to
I just
block our
enjoyed it.
feed rather.
I have enjoyed it. I mean, if you guys know anyone who wants to type, I
But
mean,
to be very
comment
fair,
either.
Jared, I'm not seeing a lot of hatred for a particular franchise ever in IPL history.
Yeah.
So there is something behind it.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna say, guys, if you have any friends who wanted to tweet under LSG's social media handle are not able to, you can definitely find our video, and our comment section is for all you guys. So, but yeah, let's talk about again LSG's bowling today. Another start today I felt was someone like Khalil Ahmed Sandivani. He's come after, I think he had an injury break, if I'm not wrong. That's the reason why he was not making the team time, and I mean, for a while. But today again, when he came back as if he had not taken that break, and it just seemed like the Khalil Ahmed that we knew, the Khalil Ahmed that played for India, the Khalil Ahmed that used to play for Sunrise Hyderabad, just seemed like that. Even when he came back in the death overs, right, the way he got Abhinav Manohar with that slower ball, just seemed like today he was the Khalil Ahmed, the peak Khalil Ahmed that we know of.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he is a better shout out than Mukesh Kumar in the side, and I think I was finally happy that he was dropped because no matter if you're even if you're grooming a player for the future in the death overs especially, first you'll have to have the core team or a team to at least take the game to the death overs. Otherwise, it's no point just supporting a player or just backing a player who might sometimes in the future do you good with the ball in the death overs. But I think, having said that, I think it was if it was injury, I think it was a tactical call as well because, like Abel mentioned, this pitch absolutely would suit Khalil Ahmed, Ishant Sharma. This was a pitch made for them. So I think it was a great call, and I think the way he bowled, the way he started it off, because 131 was a below par total on this track, even though Delhi Capitals were the happier side going into the break after 23 for 5 to reach 130. But I still feel that it was below par. So the start was going to be very important. And the way Riddhiman Shah hasn't really scored a lot of runs in this season, but he has made that impact with the bat. Taken the attack in the power play, released the pressure off from Shubman Gill to go really hard at the bowlers from the other end. So I think picking him up with a maiden over in the first over gave Delhi Capitals that start or the momentum to carry on, and then the bowlers just chipped in. Ishan Sharma has been bowling really well in the power plays. He has brought in every inch of his experience. And I think I'll agree with your take on getting in Ishan Sharma for the World Test Championship finals because he is younger than Umesh Yadav. If you are concerned about
Yeah.
fitness or something, I think he can still pull in a job. And I think he, after coming back in this stint in the IPL after missing last time around, he looks like a very experienced player who hasn't missed a step. So I'll still be interested to see how he goes in the death overs in the future. But I think so
I still
far,
think, Ishant Sharma, the test bowler, has still got it in him because he can bowl those long
definitely.
spells.
No, I mean,
And
today
See,
today
any
we
bowler.
saw as
especially,
well, right?
See,
We
Abel,
saw
any
that
bowler who is
one
yeah.
thing, let me just make a point. One of the things which India missed in the last couple of years, especially after we looking beyond Ishant Sharma, is that one ball in overseas test match who can tie one end up. Ishant Sharma never used to give us a lot of wickets. We all have to agree on that. But he could always tie one end up, go for 11 over spells, 8 over spells, which Virat Kohli really liked. And from one end you usually have Mohammad Shami trying to apply even more pressure. So what used to happen to Mohammad Shami or Umesh Yadav? You should get the better off things by getting a wicket there. But then one bowler who can absolutely control the rate. You really miss Ishant Sharma in that fifth test match against England, because what he could do is run in and ball good tight lengths by giving away absolutely nothing. And that's what's going to give you wickets at the end of the day. Because even in test matches, pressure is exerted by giving overs where you are absolutely building up pressure, not giving freebies, trying to tie one end up. That's something which Ishant Sharma will bring into the fore. And to add to that, English conditions, I think he's going to be just the best fit for India to replace Unadkat at this point of stage.
Absolutely. Because there is
Yeah.
no second again, because India are going to need at least some experience in that bowling department, because like you spoke about the fifth test against England, I mean they had Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, who are not really experienced back then, and even a 370 total looked average, because England was just taking the attack on the bowlers and there was nobody to sort of stop the leakage from the other end. England was just taking the attack on the bowlers from both the ends. And when two players are going at it from both the ends, it is very difficult, at least for one bowler to sort of hold one end and not give too many runs away.
I agree. Azil has a very interesting comment on today's game as well, Jaren.
Yeah, I was just going to come to that. He says how Hardik Pandya is very mature today and took the game deep, just like how LSG got. I think I still believe Hardik Pandya did the job. I think what Hardik Pandya still needs to learn, right, is he needs to still be able to change gears in an instant. Something that Dhoni used to do very well. That's something that he's still not learned. I still believe today he was looking good till the moment he had to start attacking. That's why I believe maybe if Hardik Pandya is not able to make that switch, otherwise he should try and be a batter who at least gets one boundary every
But
over.
that
He can
has
do
been
that.
Hardik Pandya's nemesis in the recent years, right? In the last year
Yeah,
or so,
exactly.
whenever he has looked to accelerate after taking the game deep, he has lost his wicket. And that forces a new batter to come in and score at 10 runs per over, 12 runs per
Yeah, I
over, when he
agree.
could have
I
had it
agree.
easier.
Also, I have to say one more thing. The way that Dhoni batted doesn't really work, especially in this tournament anymore. You're not seeing Dhoni bat like that anymore. The reason for that is because you've got an extra batter in that opposition team. That's why I'm so surprised Hardik Pandya is still trying to follow this. I think it's time Hardik Pandya tries to play and score boundary, at least one boundary every over. I understand he puts a price on his wicket, but in T20 cricket, at least now you don't have that price on your wicket as much as you can hurt your team much more being on the pitch than being in the dugout nowadays in T20 cricket. So maybe that's where maybe he needs to just up his strike rate at least by 15-20 points. Strike rate of 120 in middle overs doesn't work anymore because you're seeing teams really be aggressive in middle overs now. I think death overs has really started to start from the 10th over nowadays, because I don't think teams are going after the 10th over to attack. If they have 7 wickets in hand, they just go after the bowling because they know they have an extra batter in the dugout with the impact
Right.
player rule in place. So I believe now Hardik Pandya cannot play the way Dhoni used to play, because Dhoni used to play like that in a different era where probably in T20 cricket you had to chase at 9 runs per over on an average, and on a bad day you had to chase 9 runs per over. 180 was considered to be a above par score, if you guys remember, like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I don't think you can do that anymore, especially this tournament. You're seeing so many 200s because of that impact player rule.
Yeah.
Shivani Gupta says, I'm from Lucknow, but who on earth is Navinul what? Yeah. Everyone in India is asking that question now. Just feel bad for the dude.
I think it's interesting that in this season we have seen whenever team has scored 200, it's getting chased, and when the teams are scoring 130s, 120s, the opposition is finding it very difficult to chase.
Yeah,
And
I
I
agree.
think the complacency and the overconfidence factor goes
And not,
goes
yeah,
on to play a
that's one
factor.
thing fundamentally, as I mentioned, but you don't take the game deep, right? Tactically, a lot
Yeah,
of teams have
obviously.
failed this time. Just to stay ahead of the chase in the small scoring chases. One thing which Chennai did brilliantly against SRH was that they were ahead of the chase, and towards the later end, though the wickets started tumbling, that them being ahead of the chase throughout that game made sure that they were able to get off the finishing line. They were able to be on the finishing line. They were able to be on the winning side. So these small factors matter a lot. And 145, 130, they're all at tricky totals. It might look very mere on the table, but then It is just about not letting the opposition team, because then the momentum completely shifts on the opposition team. Then the pressure is on you. What if that question comes in even more.
Yeah. And always, whenever you take the game deep in these situations, you're just making it that much more easier for the bowling team, because
Yeah,
if you have eight runs per over,
yeah,
and 8 runs per over in 20 overs and 8 runs per over in 6 balls, lot of difference. Lot of
yeah.
difference. You would still say 8 runs in 6 balls can be defended, but 8 runs per over in 20
Yeah,
overs, not
yeah.
easy.
There's also
Very,
psychological factor to this, right? When you score
yeah.
200, there's certain amount of pressure on you as well. Let's just defend it. Let's not let this away. You might feel the team will still a little comfortable, but then when it's 5 overs, 60 runs to win, the pressure is on you. What if we lose?
Yeah.
Similarly, when it's 5 overs, 40 to win, if there's one good over there, it goes to 38 of 24. Then the pressure is going on the batting team. What if we lose? Similar thinking, but psychologically very different. So these are very mere facts which you need to consider, especially in cricket matches. We have seen this happen time and time again, and I can only give you one good example: is this the psychological factor of you being in the dominant position and you being fearful of losing that game from a dominant position. So that's the
Yeah,
worst part.
the weight of expectations is what really weighs teams down. I think when you as a bowling team, or rather as a batting team, when you have 200 to chase, your
Yeah,
mindset is clear. You know you have to go at 10 runs per over. It's do or die, right? But when
yeah,
you are in that situation, sometimes you feel like maybe we can take things deeper. Today, though, I still will give some. I will still cut some slack for Gujarat, because they did have a bad power play themselves too. I mean, it wasn't a great start either for them. I think they lost. They lost 3 wickets in the power play, and then by the seventh over got over. David Miller is well left. So in that sense, I understand the way Abhinav Manohar and Hardik
yeah,
Pandya played. That's the reason why I say, right, that 15th, 16th over is where Gujarat should have ended the game. They should have gone after Khalil, who was coming after such a long break. The ball wasn't doing as much as well, and someone like Akshar Patel, who hadn't gotten a wicket. And when a bowler has not gotten a wicket, he is still easier to target. And that's where I believe either Abhinav Manohar or Hardik Pandya should have taken the charge. Both of them trying to take it deep did not work. Because that's another thing that Dhoni always did. You always had someone like Jadeja or Suresh Raina always attack on the other end while Dhoni played himself in. Or Yuvraj Singh when Dhoni used to play for India. So that's also the way it works when you want someone to play like Dhoni. You need to have someone who will ensure that the amount of balls that a player like Hardik Pandya takes is covered by, the run rate doesn't drop just because Hardik
yeah.
Pandya is
Okay.
taking the amount of deliveries. But I think
Having
that's
said all
pretty.
that, but I'll also not be happy with how Delhi Capitals they've saved themselves from elimination. But I think the way they are batting, the elimination is going to happen in the next game itself. Because if you consider Delhi Capitals batting in the last 5 games or so, they haven't really scored anything apart from 188 that they got in the last game in a flat deck. That too was because of they had assistance from Phil Salt and Mitchell Marsh at the top of the order, and then they had nothing to follow that. So I think there is only David Warner in that team who has a
Yeah, I think
substantial score
they
this
ended
tournament.
up they have ended up losing from there as well, right? They were
Yeah, they ended up
right
losing.
on top,
Exactly.
and they
Yeah,
gave the game away. So the batting is again a concern. And if you look at this batting, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. I still think this batting team has got, except for maybe where Manish Pandey is slotted. I still think someone like a Priyam Garg is a decent talent. He can be because we've seen him do. It's not like he doesn't have the potential. So I think it's about him converting potential to runs. But you have got Phil Salt, you've got David Warner, Riley Russo. This batting order should do a lot better. I
this
think.
But I
batting
think,
also says some of our domestic batting talents really are vulnerable to quality bowling. So that's one
and
thing
also
which
I think
really
Priyam
shows
Garg has
some
already got
batting.
his fair share of chances, right? For Hyderabad, he was slotted in at number 4, number 3, even got to open a couple of times, but
Yeah,
he wasn't really impactful for Hyderabad.
Yeah, I think.
It's surprising
Yeah.
that they're getting in Priyam Garg and giving him a longer run than a Yash Dhul
I mean,
who was
what's
in
the
the team.
option right now? They do not have any other option, so they have to give these
Well, I
youngsters a
believe
good run.
they've not given enough matches to these options as well. You're
They
right. I mean, I
have to an
understand the
extent,
domestic
but
talents.
Jared, you know what? Why they have not given enough matches? It's very clear, it's very glaring that these lads are struggling big time. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not like they are looking good and they're getting out. You give some bit of hope, right? When you play a good defense or when you play a good shot, all of a sudden you're like, okay, just let's take a look at this guy when he's got something
Yeah.
about him. But what really worries me is Sarfaraz Khan being scared of pace, Priyam Garg being absolutely walloped by good swing bowling. Then you've talked about Prithvi Shaw as well being nowhere in terms of his fitness, in terms of the way he's looked. Manish Pandey is still a better option compared to that. But then, what I'm trying to say is this: at the end of the day, Indian domestic talents have been a disappointment for this team, primarily because they're not looking comfortable. It's not like they are not scoring runs. They're not looking comfortable. That's my point. Hence, Delhi Capitals have no option other than to shift each match and maybe give these lads another opportunity time and time again, because they're not looking like they belong in IPL. Some of them.
Absolutely. I think I'll agree with that. And also I think another issue being that you don't also have the opportunity to give them the chance because they are losing and they need to get something out of this season. Maybe I believe maybe that's where, once this team is out mathematically, you might see this team, maybe rise up, be a little confident because they are chopping and changing a lot for my
But
liking.
interestingly, Delhi Capitals have won 3 of their last 4 games, and also the one that they lost was only by 9 runs, and they should have finished
Yeah,
that
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
This
So
could
they
have been a
are
good
on.
momentum.
Yeah, they
Man,
are
they're
on
on
some
four
good
and four.
streak.
All of a sudden you're looking like Delhi Capitals clawing their way back. So don't just write
Hmm.
them off yet. They could be party poopers at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I
That's
think
what I
with that
believe.
batting, I
That's
think it is
yeah.
going to be very, very hard. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I believe, maybe losing out early or maybe mathematically out might help this team a lot more because it might give them. Remember what happened to CSK, right? When or Mumbai, right? The moment they were locked out, it just seemed like now they did not have an issue or that pressure of performance was over, and they started giving chance to players whom they were not giving initially. So maybe
Yeah.
then the longer rope will start coming in. Maybe then Yashkul gets a lot more
But
chances.
yeah, I know, as Devjit also rightly says, Prithvi Shaw has been the biggest disappointment of the season.
Yes.
Because this
Yes.
season, it just called for Prithvi Shaw to have a breakthrough 500-run season. If Prithvi Shaw would have had a 500-run season this time around, Delhi Capitals would have looked a different unit all of a sudden. David Warner would have been scoring runs. They could have played possibly someone like Mitchell Marsh and Ravman Powell also towards the left front. That would have made a middle order a little bit more better, or maybe for the liking Phil Sort or whoever they have as options. Just put them in, slot them in the middle order. Maybe make this team a well-rounded team than what it is already right now. But Prithvi Shaw not having a good season from what he has done domestic cricket, he's not been able to carry on in IPL. That's been the disappointment. He's been found wanting. His fitness levels have dropped. A lot of controllable things, right? No improvement in terms of him trying to change his technique, going back to his old technique. So these kind of chaotic mistakes has led Prithvi Shaw's downfall even more prominent. And I'm very, very disappointed because Prithvi Shaw is one of my favorite players to watch. And I really want Prithvi Shaw to do well. And I still think he's got so much of talent. I hope he doesn't go the Vinod Kamble way,
Yeah.
because we have seen that with a lot of these players. I'd be extremely disappointed. I'll be extremely disappointed if he doesn't have a good India career. But this was the IPL for him to make it because no Rishabh Pant, pressure on an Indian batter to do well. And if he would have done well, I bet India call-up was very near to him because it was just about him. It was just about him doing well in this IPL, and he missed it.
I agree. I mean, if there's one player that Delhi Capitals really gave so many opportunities, also Prithvi Shaw. I think that's where I don't blame Ricky Ponting. When he came out and he said that we've given him enough opportunities, he's not done enough for this team. And I just believe this Delhi Capitals team needs one batter. I think they need Phil Salt and Mitch Marsh to come good, and they need one Indian batter to come good. And I think that will be enough for this team. That'll be enough for this team to at least put up a fight, get into the middle of the table. And once you get into the middle of the table, you never know. You never know the way things are set up right now. But
Yeah, yeah.
he's
Delhi
just
Capitals just
struggled.
not out.
I
This could
mean,
be a 14-point season, guys. So because see,
uh,
even Gujarat Titans are losing games, so there's nobody who's really running away with it. If Gujarat Titans would have won today, I would have said playoff is secured and they will be finishing on top two. But now, them also not really getting away. Everybody's been restrained by each other. It's like you win and you will be defeated next match. I win, I'll be defeated next match. There is no continuous. It's red and green, red and green. I think it's about time we look at the points table as well, just for that liking, as you rightly mentioned, because before we end
yeah.
the live stream, we'll just look at the points table and then we'll end the live stream because then it'll give us a better idea as to where teams stand at this point as I'm presenting the screen.
I mean, let's just while you do get on the screen. One thing I have to say, this year it's been that kind of a IPL. Whoever is on top of the
Look at
table
that.
or
Look at that.
whoever
Look
is
at
the
that,
highest
right?
in the table,
There is no green, green,
they
green,
end up
green.
losing.
It's just green, red, red, green, red, green. So it's just like that. I mean, if you look at Gujarat, they had a better run there, but still,
Yeah.
it's just been so inconsistent with a lot of teams. So it's been one of those seasons. Gujarat Titans at top of the table, 12 points. Ara with 10. Everybody has 5-4, 5-4, 5-4. If tomorrow Mumbai wins, another 5-4 come in. and that's pretty chaotic right there, man. I mean, the next jam is going to be 12. It's been 8 point
Sandimal is
jam, now it's a
looking
10
at
point
the
jam.
lower end of the table. Sandimal is looking at the lower end of the table and worrying where
I mean,
KKR
look at that.
are.
Even there's a jam. It's all six tied up,
Yeah,
6 and 8.
No,
I
I
mean,
think I
it's
think it's safe to
crazy.
say that the top 7 teams are will be the teams fighting for the 4 places. I don't see KKR,
Can you believe it?
Sunrisers, and
Sandeep,
Delhi with
what
a
I'm trying to say is,
chance.
can you believe it? There are 7 teams fighting
you
for
never
first
know
spot.
something.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
crazy, bro. What are the odds that these last table
Yeah.
team number five,
I
six,
think if
seven, eight?
tomorrow Mumbai end up losing, yeah.
Yeah,
But like if
good,
tomorrow
good.
Mumbai end up losing, that chasm will, that divide will start happening. Where this is the middle of the season, right? Now, not middle of the season, right? Towards the end of the season. So now, here onward, Mumbai, Punjab, RCB, especially Mumbai, cannot afford to lose. They have to keep up with that 10 points because they've got one match in hand. So they aren't far away from
Yeah.
RCB, Chennai, and all these teams. So that's one thing you have to consider. That 8 points should actually be looked at as 10 because that's a potential 10 there. But if
So
they
what
lose
happens is,
tomorrow,
if tomorrow
it
Mumbai
really
wins,
hurts them.
they go on top of Punjab, but they stay at 6 mostly, unless they win by a big margin. And
Yeah.
that's gonna really wild things up now, because then what happens is Mumbai will have, if Mumbai start winning, now Mumbai has already won a very close encounter, then Mumbai will start believing we can make it a top four because there's a legacy behind them. They've been there,
Hmm.
done it, kind of that factor with that coaching staff and everybody trying to pull them. Then Mumbai becomes a dangerous team. But, they do not have the best bowling lineup, but as a batting unit, they start becoming dangerous. Surya Kumar Yadav in form, Rohit Sharma, if he gets back in form at some stage, then you have Tim David and Cameron Green striking the ball well with Tilak Verma. That's going to give them another added advantage. But Punjab Kings on the other end, playing some really good cricket, man. Look at them, winning, losing, but good cricket at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also talking about, I think Chennai Super Kings and Lucknow Super Giants tomorrow. I think Chennai are going to have it the easier way, because if you take this Lucknow Super Giants batting unit and you remove KL Rahul from there, I mean you won't see a lot of technical players and not many informed players as well. You talk about
Yeah.
informed players, you'll probably talk about, like, think of a Marcus Stoinis or a Kyle Mayers, but I don't see them technically sound. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll struggle in especially against spinners in that in that absolutely rubbish track at Lucknow. So I think
Yeah.
Chennai are going to have it easy tomorrow, especially, and without KL
But
Rahul, this Lucknow team will find it very difficult to stay in hunt for the playoffs.
I'd be super amused if they go with pitch number 6 in tomorrow's game, because if they do it, they're just just burying themselves in their own graveyard. That's what I would say, because they
I
should not be
mean,
doing that. That team is too good to be batting on
mm,
flatter surfaces, and it's a day game at the end of the day. Expect more turn, and Chennai will be loving playing on that surface. I think Chennai might just go in with an extra spinner if it's on that surface, and then someone like Patirana is going to be extremely hard because it's going to be low, and it's going to be
And
low surface, and with their
honestly,
action.
I won't mind having a Mitchell Santner in the team. I would probably even drop a Thikshana and get in a Mitchell Santner.
Maybe they should consider that as
I
an
like the
option at the end of the day. But you know what? They already have a
I
lot of
mean,
skill. They have
I
Moeen,
always
there's
believe
Jadeja.
on pitches that yeah, I always believe that on pitches that turn, you should get in a Santner because I think he's a much bigger threat when it comes to spinning pitches. But I still think the reason why they won't come bring him in is because he's as Abel was just about to say, very similar bowler to Ravindra Jadeja, and that's the only reason why I see that
Yeah,
not
yeah,
happening. Because
agreed,
he's an
agreed.
off spinner, right? Tikshna is an off spinner at the end of the day, so you get a
You know,
different
you know what
angle.
they
Is
can possibly do is bring in someone like a Prashant Solanki instead of Akash Singh for that liking, if that's going to be on that surface.
yeah,
Just try
yeah,
him out, Indian spinner, a new guy, see how he goes about it. Because on a
very good
day
example.
game like that, these LSE batters don't really pick leg spin well, and it's going to be pretty interesting how he goes about it.
No matter what the condition is, I back Tushar Deshpande to pick up another 2 wickets tomorrow. No matter
I
how
I
mean,
much
he's
agree.
having
runs he
that
goes
kind of
for
a
tomorrow.
season, man. I mean, he's not ball the best, but he's getting wickets at the end of the day. What I call the rubbish wickets, but then important wickets as well.
Yeah, he's been a player who's been going after the purple cap with the amount of runs he gives, and sorry, the amount of wickets he takes, and the orange cap with the amount of runs he gives. So, an
But he's a good
all-round
But
bowler.
player.
but I think if you would have asked Dhoni, what would have you expected? Would you have taken a 44 runs, 2 wickets in 4 overs from Tushar Deshpande? Dhoni would have been
Absolutely.
okay. So an average of 20 odd and an economy of 11 odd is fine for Tushar Deshpande as long as he continues to pick up wickets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah, I
That's
agree.
about
I
it.
mean, that's pretty much it from us for today. Then make sure you guys download and play fantasy cricket on Boom 11, because regardless of whether you're on Kohli or Gautam Gambhir's side, you never know. Luck might be on your side. So,
Guys, if you want to see a boxing match between Kohli and Gambhir, put it on the comments. Put boxing on the comments. We like
remember
it.
Kohli just gave an interview where he said he doesn't like to fight outside the pitch because he knows when there's no security guards, he can.
Who is
be-
asking
Yeah.
for a fight outside the pitch? I want a boxing match inside the pitch. I want
Inside the
Gautam
pitch.
Gambhir
In
to
the
come in the pitch.
in
Yeah.
that farmland. I like it. I like to see it in a farmland. In that bloody agricultural ground, in that bloody mud. We like to see a fight.
See, honestly, unpopular opinion. I love Kohli, but I love Gautam Gambhir as well. So
But I know why you
would
like
have-
Gautam Gambhir. I mean, you have to like Gautam Gambhir. Come on.
No,
You won it
not
two
just for
times.
KKR.
You
Come on,
have
man.
to.
Not
If
not
you
just
hated
for
Gautam Gambhir, I would be really questioning your loyalty to KKR as well.
not just for
So-
KKR, but for the 2011 World Cup final, also
97?
2007 T20 World Cup final. A lot of people forget that it was
Yeah,
Gautam
we
Gambhir
do agree.
75 that won
Absolutely.
India the World Cup.
Gautam Gambhir has been a player, has been a serial match winner for Team India. But then
Good
I have to
clutch
admit
player
that,
for us.
yeah, I think let's talk about Vijay Shankar being batting number 4 for India next podcast. Absolutely, Devjit. I think this is a new podcast episode coming your way.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to call him the Ochoa of cricket. Every 4 years he rises from the field, like from the ashes, and starts performing. And selectors start talking about him.
And this time, I think he has much higher chances of making it to the
And just
Indian
look
team
at
with
it.
Raidu's form.
You guys see, right? Whoever is higher in the pecking order are all getting injured. Scale Rahul, you don't know who's next on the hit list. This is
And
how it
also,
works.
you
This is
don't know
Vijay
Raidu is not
Shankar's
performing, right?
black magic, guys. Absolutely something really wrong. I smell fishy, and all of a sudden, first match, Vijay Shankar batting at number 4. It's gonna be insane. I'm telling you, it's gonna be insane.
Good night, guys.
Good night. On
Yeah.
that note, Vijay Shankar at number 4 for me. 3D all the way.